Hi everyone, thanks so much for coming by. Today we're going to be talking about the lip exercise in Exercise Along With Me Series 4. Now I personally have always had very thin lips, and what happens when you do facial exercises, it doesn't magically plump up your lips, okay? You do not magically all of a sudden get plump lips, because basically this is what I was given. So when you do facial exercises, the exercises adapt to the natural shape of what your face and what your skull is. If you've ever watched forensic TVs, forensic shows, when they're trying to rebuild somebody's skull, when they find a skull and they want to rebuild it to see what they look like, they can do that with very, very much accuracy, because there are markers on your skull that indicate what you look like, without the skin. And that's the same with us. We have very specific, very unique genetic markers that make us what we look like now. So that's what facial exercise does. It takes the muscles back and adapts the muscles to those very genuine, very unique markers that are on our skull. And that's why often when we do facial exercises, we look like we did when we were younger. Because as we age, we lose all that. You know, some people, God, I can't believe it. Some people, you look at them and you would not ever know that that's who they were when they were younger. And not even if they'd had, surgery done or anything like that, but because the way they age and what they do to themselves really is a indictment of how they look now. There are some people that still, you could recognise and say, oh yeah, no, that's that person, I know who that is. But what I'm saying to you is that facial exercises will make you look like you did when you were younger. And people will be amazed. Like if you go to a reunion, a class reunion or something like that, they'll just look at you and go, I can't believe the way you look. You don't look any different. I get that all the time. I've aged, but people just, when they meet up with me, they go, what are you doing? Because nothing changes that much. Because facial exercise is the most unique way to get this done, to make yourself look better and younger. So anyway, that was my rave and my thing about facial exercise. But we're talking about the lip exercise. So that's where that started is, a lot of people get on YouTube and tell me my lips are so skinny and thin and, they should be plumper and, the philtrum should be higher. Well, I don't care what you think really, because this is me, this is who I am, and this makes me up my beautiful, unique self. So you can say whatever you want, but, it's not going to affect me because, I love who I am and I accept who I am. And when you've got that sort of strength when you're older, nothing can hurt you. Anyway, let's do the lip exercise. So what we do this again in the sequence that I was talking about in the last video. There's a sequence where you place your fingers, when you place your fingers on your face to do the exercises. You don't just randomly place them and that's it. You do it in a sequence. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our fingers in the corners of our mouth, because we want to protect any further exacerbation of wrinkles in this area, because these are the areas that they wrinkle. They wrinkle where? Up the top here. They wrinkle here as well, first generally, because if you can think that there's the top muscle and there's the under muscle. And that join here, where the muscle joins, is where the weakest part is in the skin. And that's why we wrinkle in these areas and up in here in the corners and in the middle, because they're the most weakest part of the skin. And of course there's different types of wrinkles. There's wrinkles that's got dehydration wrinkles, there's just general sagging wrinkles because the skin's got weak. But these wrinkles are, very specific that we have to protect. So we put them here, okay, we put our thumbs here, and then we place our fingers. We can do 3 fingers, or you can do 2. I'm doing 2 today. And we place them right on the very edge of our lip, okay? And then what we do is we just gently gather the skin up and push up and out. Now, as you can see, I'm gently pushing up and out. I'm not going like this, okay? Not doing any of that. What I'm doing is gently pushing up and pulling out just a tad. We all know what a tad is, okay? Actually, when I lived in America, I learned what a tad was, because we don't have tads here in Australia, but I didn't know what a tad was. And really, a tad's not really anything, but a tad's just a tad, okay? So just up and out a tad. Right, so then we, with the other fingers in front of anywhere, then we gently push down. And that's it. If your fingers slip up, just stop, gather them up again, gather the skin up, push up a bit, pull out a tad, and do it again. Okay? Now you see how I'm frowning, right? So what you have to do is all you do is focus on your lips, okay? And there I am just focusing on my lips, and what happened magically was this area relaxed. So when you're doing an exercise and you find yourself frowning, just focus on the muscle that you are exercising, and you will find that everything else will relax, because that is the power of focus. Because we're not, you know, we're sort of pushing and trying to do it, but what we do is just focus on the lip, right? All you do, and you're not frowning, okay? And that is, here actually is a technique on the focus technique. And if you have a look at that after this video, if you go to that one, you will find that it will show you how to focus and how to really exercise just one muscle, if that's what you're wanting to do. Because you really can't exercise just one muscle, because all the muscles on the face are interconnected. So you move one, another one will move, you move another one will move. But if you use the power of focus, and if you use the power of the mind-body connection, you can just focus on that one muscle, and you can exercise it just by focus. So in the link, in the description box below here, there is a link to the muscles of the face. Go ahead and click on that link, download it, and have a look at those muscles of the face so you can get to know what you're actually doing. Because if you know the muscles, then you know which to isolate, how to isolate it, and all the rest of it. So go ahead and do that. All right, guys, I hope that's helped you today. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel. When you do, you get all the updates. Also, click the bell, and also give me a like. That would be fabulous. Now, the other thing too is that I am now updating the Facerobics site. It is going to be a much bigger and better site, and with the updates will come price rises. So what I would encourage you to do, if you're looking to join, you can join now at a very rock bottom price, but when the price goes up, you will only have to pay half price, because people who are in the gym now will only be paying half price. So it really is in your interest to go ahead and join now, so that you can get that half price for the rest of the duration of the time you're there, for the whole time. So it's really in your interest to start thinking about joining now before the gym actually is updated. I will let everybody know when it's being updated. There's a few more things. I have to do the exercise along with me videos yet. There's a few more things to do, but I will let you know when that's done. All right, guys, you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time. Bye.